Queen's University is one of Canada's most prestigious undergraduate institutions. Students here are known to work hard and play hard, but sometimes these busy schedules can leave students feeling exhausted and burnt out. In January 2019, a BuzzFeed article titled "How Millennials Became the Burnout Generation" went viral. In the article, the writer states, "For the last decade, millennials has been used to describe or ascribe what's right and wrong with young people, but in 2019, millennials are well into adulthood. The youngest are 22, the oldest, like me, somewhere around 38. This has required a shift in the way people within and outside of our generation configure their criticism. We're not feckless teens anymore. We're grown-ass adults, and the challenges we face aren't fleeting, but systemic." Growing up in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, millennials are the last generation raised on VHS tapes and the first raised on computer games. As kids, we were fueled by Fruit Gushers and Dunkaroos, and most of us got smartphones before our parents did. We're the first generation to be faced with having a constant social media presence before we'd even finished high school, and now we're most known for liking memes, brunch, and not being able to afford homes. And according to the BuzzFeed article, we all feel burnt out. Since Queen's University is full of millennials, it seemed like the perfect place to see if this burnt out feeling was as common as the article said it was. We've interviewed 7 people to see what they think. This is Millennial Burnout at Queen's.
My name is Mickey. I'm in 4th year commerce, and I also played on the rugby team for 3 years, and I also now play on the ultimate frisbee team. I definitely think that I've experienced feelings of millennial burnout.
I'm Jessica Impey. I am in 2nd year poli-sci. I think I have experienced it, especially around exam times.
My name's Mitch. I am doing my PhD here at Queen's in biomechanical engineering. I play on the Queen's ultimate team. I'm always one of those people that makes to-do lists, and it's a long, long list of things that I try to do, but then find myself, maybe if it's an easy task, still find it kind of difficult to do. Yeah, that stuff builds up and then kind of feel burnout afterwards.
So my name is Dirk. I'm in 4th year at Queen's doing biochemistry, and I definitely get the idea of like a whole generational burnout.
My name is Kunal Sengupta, and I am a 4th year film student. The thing that always comes back to me with burnout like that is food. I never want to make food when I get home.
I'm Tyler Matthews. I'm a 4th year drama student.
My name is Jordan. I'm a 4th year biology and drama student.
Yeah. I think that's, yeah.
I don't want to say constantly, but it comes and goes.
I think it's always been around, but maybe it's become more severe recently because everyone is striving to get better grades so they can get better job opportunities. I think it's just become more drastic in the recent years, and it's definitely going to affect future generations.
Knowing that every generation has probably experienced feeling burnt out, but I feel like our generation specifically lives online. I don't know about you, but whenever I go on Instagram, I'm just like, who am I?
I don't think it's limited to the generation. I think it's probably been around the whole time, but now with, I guess, more people talking about it, it's kind of risen up, and a title that got popularity.
I'm sure that people before the millennial generation have had feelings of burnout, but especially with social media and kind of the pressure to be busy all the time and be doing lots of things has caused this phenomenon and kind of created a name for itself.
People are really anxious all the time in a way that they haven't been in the past, probably. The generational anxiety that kind of we feel is millennial burnout is definitely unique, just because the circumstances that are bringing it out. There was definitely general generational movements in the past, but maybe not quite so focused on feeling completely run down and hopeless. If you think about what the big pressing societal problem that people worry about is, it's definitely climate change.
I think it's the whole thing about transitioning into a life that you're basically leading now. There's no helping hand per se.
I would say that millennial burnout is just some sort of a chronic burnout, and I'm sure that's existed since we've had chronic stress.
Yeah.
Different individuals will suffer at different levels. But maybe what makes this unique is because of social media and whatnot, we have this space where everyone can share their experience in a way that we realize that, oh, I'm not the only one suffering this chronic burnout.
Yeah, I think social media does have a really big role in contributing to millennial burnout, especially with like Instagram stories, Snapchat stories. We're kind of always being seen by other people. At university, I think that a lot of people kind of link how busy you are or how much stuff you do to how prestigious you are.
With social media, you're never turning off from the world, right? With our parents' generation and generations before that, you could always go home after work and that's it. You're off not the grid, but you don't have to like still somewhat converse with people, work people. You don't have to talk to your hundreds and hundreds of friends. You can just be at home, you can just watch TV, and you can just talk to your family, and that be it. But now, you go home and it's never really done.
I think so, or I think at least people are definitely talking about it more, so any sort of sense of millennial, I guess we're all kind of competitive, so whether that's a job or that's doing well in school, if you see someone else who's doing really well or has the time to do vacations or got this new job, you're obviously going to try and do the same thing. Seeing everyone on social media having successes and then putting the pressure on yourself to also be successful.
The thing I hate the most is before a test, when you have the group of people who come together to complain about how stressed they are over this test collectively, and that just makes everything worse. And that's what the internet has been doing, but with every aspect of your life that could be stressful.
I think it's become a new wave of connective being. Everyone is just so stressed out.
I think we're creative people and we do creative work. And I feel like, at least for our generation, creative work has become sort of similar to how we're expected to create like online, and that you have to always be putting something out, you have to always be sharing what you're doing.
Social media definitely like reinforces negativity for people, and like when it's like becomes like such a prevailing part of your life, it just like you're like constantly reinforcing the same bad thoughts that you get from social media. And I think they've definitely like done like studies and stuff showing that like people are generally more negative when they're online more, and we're like the most like online generation to date.
Like in terms of first and second year, I definitely felt like this was normal and that feeling burnt out in university is just something that you have to go through and kind of get over. But more and more, kind of going into third year and especially in fourth year, I've realized the value in just kind of spending time for myself and feeling not burnt out because you get a lot more work done, I think.
Definitely take as many breaks as you can. It feels like the end of the world if you don't finish the assignment, but maybe focus on the ones that are worth more, like the 40% essay, and maybe ignore the 5% essay outline.
If you find yourself making to-do lists that are too long, that the better thing to do would be to have some sort of achievable goal, something smaller, accomplish that, feel those little gains of success, but then also don't forget to have time to have relax, because we're always working and we always feel sort of guilt if we're not working. So in order to actually do something and feel accomplished and lower stress levels, if you have something that's smaller task and then you can achieve that, then maybe you'll feel better towards doing the larger tasks and you won't feel guilty if you take a snack break or go out to the gym or something.
We're co-artistic directors for a theater company here
called Studio 13.
We noticed that students would be getting cast in a show and then do the show like 3 weeks later. And we were like, that's absurd. And no one can actually tell us why we're doing it so quickly. So we set up a process where we would cast people in September and work on a show until March or April.
Now, interestingly, I found that with this long sort of, this long form work, you don't have as much of that energy burnout.
There's definitely flaws with this sort of thing, but I think the benefits outweigh.
Yeah, it's a novel approach and something that maybe we can find a happy medium between a 3 and a 9 month project process length.
In today's world, it's much more acceptable, especially in our generation, to talk more about burnout. I don't think it's something that we can escape. I don't think there's a simple answer where we can just disconnect from it.
Just keep trucking on, Take some antidepressants. Hang out, smoke weed.